All right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, perhaps. Welcome in. We are so thrilled to see you all here today for our quarterly product update webinar. My name is Katie Frank, and I'll be moderating for our Director Client Success, Landon Clegg, and our Director of Product, Neil Thomas. Without further ado, Landon, please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much for the introduction. We're really excited to be here with you for our Q2 product update webinar, a series of webinars that we'll be doing on a quarterly basis. We're also happy because we survived. We made it.
We got through the COVID scare.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the awkward silence that we just went through.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, good. The first thing we want to do today is say thank you. Thank you for being here on the webinar with us, but also thank you for your recent engagement in our NPS survey that went out a couple of months ago. We really appreciated both the positive and negative feedback that we received.
Yeah, and we really do appreciate the feedback we get and the input we get. For us, especially in the product team, it's absolutely essential that we connect with you guys, with our customers. We want to understand what you want, what you need, where your businesses are going, and feed that back into product so that we can produce great product for you. So this sort of feedback and the sort of feedback we've been getting is so good and so important, and we thank you. Also to say that if you want to sort of engage with us, especially on the product team, to let us know what things that you wish to see in the product, please do so. And in just a minute, we'll give you an email address that you can reach out to if you want to take that conversation further.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We really, really want to hear from you. So to kick off our webinar today, we want to do a bit of house cleaning, right? So review of some announcements that have taken place over the last 6 to 9 months. So at the tail end of last year, we announced the official end of life of our legacy on-prem product called WebStack. So that will be officially end of life in February of 2023. And we also announced at that same time a transitionary plan for all of you who are using the WebStack product to both our SaaS and virtual appliance platforms. Yeah. And then at the beginning of this year, we announced a change in the structure of our licensing. So previously, you had certain quantities of licenses or packs of licenses that could be purchased at any given point in time. We've done away with that. It's now customized. You can buy as many or as few licenses as you need for your organization. And then additionally, we removed our modular kind of feature structure and have transitioned over to a bundle package where you get more features in bundles that make better sense for you and your organizations. And as Neil had mentioned, we want to hear from you and we want your feedback. So if you have any feedback for us, if you want to engage with us, please reach out to us at csteam@PrinterLogic.com. We'd love to talk to you. Yeah. So for the remainder of our meeting, we want to review our SaaS and virtual appliance platforms, the features that come with those, and introduce these new bundles, this bundle package system we just talked about. So the first thing we want to review is the core functionality of the product and some of the enhancements that have been made with that in the last couple of months. So the first piece that we want to talk about is just the story of eliminating print servers. That has been our mantra for years now, getting rid of that infrastructure. As we found out within the last 9 months or so, getting rid of that vulnerability with Print Nightmare and the print spool issue and all those other things that were coming into play.
I think it's fair to say that while a lot of other people out there were having issues with the Print Nightmare, having real dislocation in their business, a real security threat, none of our customers experienced any of those issues, and fantastic. And actually what we've seen is a lot of new customers coming onto our platform because it works and because it's so secure. It's a great story.
Yeah, it's been a great story. And we've really appreciated those who have reached out and asked if you are affected by Print Nightmare. And we've been so happy to say, no, you're not.
And of course, it's more than just that. We have a fully centralized direct IP printing platform. So the servers, the hardware have gone, and you've got that consolidated, centralized IT management console that you can then manage your whole print estate from, and which has been something that a lot of our customers, you guys, have so appreciated.
Yeah, exactly right. And we're happy to announce that, our SaaS platform up to this point has been hosted in AWS.
Yeah.
But we have an exciting announcement about that as well, don't we?
We do, yeah. AWS has been a fantastic platform for us. We've got 4 locations globally where we can deliver our SaaS services from. And just last month, we pulled up a new SaaS delivery platform in Azure AD in Europe. So out of Frankfurt, we can now deliver our SaaS-based PrinterLogic product to the European market. And we'll see how that goes and see if that is something that customers outside of Europe is something that you want to see. And if you do, please reach out to us and let us know what sort of thing you need.
Yeah.
So great opportunity there.
Yeah, potential for expansion and really supporting everyone in what cloud services they want to use. So in addition to that, we've started to increase the number of identity providers that we're supporting. So we support all those in the Magic Quadrant.
Yeah,
so
top
far,
right-hand quadrant.
Top right-hand quadrant, yeah. That's right. But tell us a little bit more about some of the new ones that we're now supporting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the full range. People that you would normally associate, so people like Okta, Azure AD, Ping, Google, ForgeRock. There's I think about 8 in total, and because we're SaaS and we've embraced it totally, we also integrate with these SaaS-based identity providers, and it's just seamless. And we adopt all of those good technologies and that they adopt. So things like SAML v2, SCIM, JIT, just in time, to ensure that identity provision is as good as it can be, and that as updates are made to an individual user, their authentications, what they can use and what they can't, that ripples through immediately through the whole system. So that allows us to do single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, whole host of good features, but it's secure and it's done through SaaS, through the cloud. Incredible story. And we'll be talking just a little bit more about that in a second.
Yeah, exactly right. And both those things, the supporting of multiple cloud services, the supporting of IDPs, that really ties itself well into this agnostic client support, right? Yeah. Our ability to say, hey, look, printing should be simple. It should be easy. It should be supported regardless of what your environment looks like. So no matter what operating system you're using on your desktops, no matter what print manufacturers are using, the whole gamut, we want to make sure that you're fully supported.
Yeah. And that extent, I mean, on the client side, it's just Windows, it's Mac, but also Chrome doing direct IP printing. We've got all the virtualized environments like Citrix, VDI, etc. And it's not just the client side, but also on the printer side, on the manufacturer side as well. Because it's direct IP, it's any manufacturer that is out there. And when it comes to secure printing, again, something that we'll mention in just a few minutes, it's that top manufacturer. It's the main ones in a breadth across the board, and it's agnostic. It's the same user interface. It's the same user experience. We want to make this easy and seamless for your users to be able to get on and do the job that they want to do, which is print easily and without thought and without interruption.
Exactly right. It should just work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've heard from you, our customers, so often is how we have helped reduce the burden of managing your print environment. So the reduction of help desk calls or service tickets that are submitted to printer installations or driver issues or whatever it may be. One of the big benefits of the PrinterLogic product is the self-service portal, the ability for users to be able to go and locate on their own what printers they need to install to print to. But there's some other features and tools that we have a part of the core solution that help with this as well.
Yeah, so all the driver management, it just works. So you put the system in, it just happens and functions. Drivers are updated, profiles are deployed, and the reporting that comes off the back of it with both SNMP and standard reports allows you to manage your print estate very easily and efficiently. So you can get on with the job of ensuring that print service is then delivered in a very efficient way to your user community. So a lot of things going on there, but as Landon was saying, we've got so many good comments, as we saw earlier on from the survey, of PrinterLogic just working, of it being easy to maintain, efficient in its administration and in its delivery. It's an incredibly good story, and we have customers staying with us for years because it just works and does the job.
Yeah, and you mentioned reporting, and we have an enhancement to that, which is the enterprise data warehouse, which allows you to be able to extract that the data from the warehouse and be able to inject that into any business intelligence tool that your organization may be using to create customized reports to see who's printing and where are they printing to and when are they printing and what are they printing, and basically anything you'd want to do, the customization is there. And we're really excited to announce that the Enterprise Data Warehouse is now a part of the core functionality.
Yeah. And it's part of the continuing story of us increasing the functionality that exists in the core platform. It gets bigger, it gets stronger, it's a coordinated, it's a consistent interface and a consistent message that we are delivering more and more every month into this core platform. And you'll see more of this coming along over the course of the next couple of quarters, and we'll be talking about that as we do further webinars.
Yep. Now, rounding out the core functionality is this idea of kind of a self-updating platform. Now, that's leveraging the power of SaaS itself and saying, hey, printing should just work. It should be easy. How about you offload more of that burden onto us, those who are providing the services, and allow us to take care of a lot of the updates and other things that your IT team would be doing in the past.
Yeah, I mean, SaaS is an incredibly efficient and a way of getting a good return on investment. It's easy to update, it's easy to migrate, expand your infrastructure without you having to do it. It's all done for you. It's an incredibly good story. And because we use all the latest technology, containerization, microservices, we can deliver updates to our product, to the cloud. So things like fixes or new features very easily, seamlessly. And you guys have the ability just to start using it as soon as it's delivered. It's an incredibly good story. And actually the same is true for our virtual appliance, that although that is taken off it's not a SaaS delivered thing, with the ability to update is very easy. There's just a single button that goes out, looks for updates and downloads them and puts them in place. But obviously being a virtual appliance and on-prem, that's at your discretion.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. You've heard us talk a lot about SaaS and the power of SaaS and our transition to that. But for those who choose to stay on-prem, the virtual appliance runs on the same code. It's the same technology, all the same functionality that we've talked about so far, and we'll talk about all available there as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool. So that rounds out the core product. Let's jump now into the first of three bundles we want to discuss today, that being the Advanced Security Bundle. Now, we briefly mentioned Print Nightmare, how none of you have been affected by that because of the PrinterLogic solution, and how that story of eliminating the print server has done so well. But it's more than just these attack surfaces or this kind of vulnerability that's there. It's also about personal data and protecting that data as well. So when it comes to secure release printing, something that's been a part of the print management world for quite some time, what are we doing, Neil, to protect user data, and how are we helping to further support secure release printing from PrinterLogic standpoint?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think we've all done it. One of the biggest issues in terms of security, or one of the biggest vulnerabilities, is doing a print job and accidentally forgetting to pick it up. So it may contain confidential information, payroll, you name it. And secure printing, which we are used to, is a way of stopping that happening. You print, but you don't release the job to print until you're at the printer itself. And we manage that through badge, username, PIN, however you want. And of course, I would mention that all of that authentication is done through, guess what, all of those IGPs and that technology that we were mentioning just a second ago. But we're extending the range of, or the number of manufacturers that we support from the top 2-3 tiers. And we've recently started support of Kyocera, and we'll soon be announcing the release of the Toshiba control panel application as well. And in addition, making it a lot easier to deploy and to manage that application that goes out to all those control panels through something called CPA Manager, which does everything en masse, a bulk deployment of a particular manufacturer's control panel application, or an update or a deletion, whatever it is you happen to want to do, the manager does en masse at a click of a button. Very, very simple, but a very fast, efficient way of managing your manufacturer estate when it comes to pull printing.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's that same story, that agnostic approach, right? Let's continue to support all the manufacturers with all the functionality, and let's ease the administrative management around that functionality as well, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Beyond that, it's not just badge, PIN, other authentication methods, but we've now introduced a mobile app and the ability to securely release jobs from a mobile device, correct?
Yeah, this is a big announcement that we made a few months ago. So these are native apps, both on iOS and on Android, allows you to print from your device or to release jobs from your device. And in fact, if you don't know which printer you're standing at when you want to release, you can go up to the printer and it reads the QR code, understands which printer it is, and then will show you the jobs that are available to you to release or delete or whatever you happen to want to do. So great for this contactless world where COVID seems to have affected everybody, but a great transition. And I'd also say that it's part of that innovation that we're bringing to bear on our product. So in terms of direct printing, I think we're the only manufacturer that does this direct IP printing from a device. We don't use AirPrint or anything like that. So the limitations that exist there are removed, and it's a great solution. It's the same solution that we have across the board, and it works very well and seamlessly.
Yeah, I know that I never have my corporate ID with me, but I always have my phone.
That's right. I have let you into the building several times. Yeah.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much. So let's talk a little bit more about IDPs. We've mentioned them. We mentioned we support those in the Magic Quadrant, but there's more than just managing a singular IDP, especially when you start talking about zero trust as a whole. We started to get a lot of feedback from you, our customers, that you're in transitionary periods. You're moving from LDAP to Azure AD or Okta, or maybe you've merged with another organization and now you've got kind of multiple identity providers in play here. We support that, don't we?
Yeah, and this is a big story. So as part of this advanced security bundle, not only do we have all the advantages of this IDP provisioning that we spoke about at the beginning, but we allow multiple IDPs to be supported at the same time. So you can have Okta and Azure AD, or frequently it will be things like LDAP or AD and Azure AD as people do the transitioning, or they want to extend their range and how they manage systems. And it's not just multiple IDP vendors, but it's also multiple instances of those IDPs.
That's right.
And this is a huge bonus. So it does allow you to manage securely your IDP provisioning as you wish, which is what a lot of you guys are doing, and which is where we've had a lot of customer input. And we're responding to that in order to support you in the way you wish to manage security.
Yeah. So looking now at Zero Trust a little bit more closely, we've introduced this feature called off-network printing, right? Zero Trust, high-level speak, is, hey, don't trust anyone. Let's have a gatekeeper at every entrance point. Let's make you authenticate in order to be able to get access to whatever it is you're trying to get access to. So what is this off-network feature? How does it come into play? What are the use cases?
Yeah, as Lana was saying, one of the key things here is that a lot of people are moving towards zero trust, and it's not an easy thing to do, but they want to isolate their printers on a separate network because it's considered a vector for attack, and they want to do that even from their own employees, but especially for maybe affiliate clinics, people who use that technology and that facility, who are within the building, say, but you don't want to grant them access to the main corporate network, or long-term consultants who are within the organization. They need to print, but again, you don't want to give them a corporate network ID. So the way we've set this up is to have printers within the firewall with a bit of separate compute device that's looking out towards our cloud, or a gateway into the cloud. And that cloud is where jobs that are sent to it reside. So somebody outside the firewall, one of these contractors maybe, they will have a print queue enabled on their device. And it's the same as any of the other PrinterLogic print queues. It's exactly the same. It works in exactly the same way. When they print, it goes to this off-network print queue, goes up to the cloud. That compute device or computing piece that's within the firewall is looking out constantly, so it's not a security risk. And then as it sees a job come in, it'll pick it up, pull it down, and push it through to the identified printer. And it can be done as well in a pull and secure fashion, so that again you get that whole benefit of data protection.
Yep, extra layer security. And the cool part about this, as you mentioned, is no VPNs are required, end-to-end encryption, the job's never at rest. It's beautiful.
It's much more efficient, and it allows site-to-site location independent printing, and it's very easy to set up. It's as easy as setting up the rest of the PrinterLogic print queues. It just just works, and it just is very easy to manage and maintain.
Yeah, we think this will have a lot of value for our customers and for you. So that rounds out our security posture at this point in time. So we definitely have more features that are coming and will be a part of the Advanced Security Bundle, and we'll be talking about those in future webinars. So moving from there, let's jump into our second bundle, which is the Output Management Bundle. Now, specific to the healthcare industry, we've supported EMR printing or the management of those EMR print queues for our healthcare customers for quite some time. But we're talking about something a little bit different here with ERP integrations, are we not?
That's right. So we support the front end, the user printing very, very well, and have done for years. But there are these big systems, such as the ERP systems that you mentioned, that are user managed, but they print jobs go to them or sent through them, or they create print jobs themselves automatically because of the nature of the system itself. So we now support that in just the same way, this back-end printing in exactly the same way as we do the front-end systems. And it's combined, managed in the same way. It is the same management, the same way of treating it. And it allows us to do, or we've managed two separate sets of integrations. One is with Epic directly, the EMR system, but also a more generic connector, LPD or LPR as it's known, which allows us to connect to systems such as Cerner on the EMR side, or some of the manufacturing systems based on SAP. It's a more generic connector, but it allows us to do that. And this means that we can now support in one application all of that front end and all of the back end print jobs that are going through, managed in the same way and reported on in the same way. Yeah. It's a powerful system, and we will be extending this considerably over the course of the next few months.
Yeah, it's very cool, right? So now you as a customer can have one singular system for managing both the front and the back end printing versus having kind of disparate solutions out there.
And when you report, you're reporting on that same user. You're not having to combine reports or to go into back end databases to work out what people have printed and how it's been printed.
Yeah, exactly right. So you alluded to us further building this out a little bit. One of those things is the rules and routing piece.
Yeah, this is sort of speaks to the sort of automation of printing and things that happen within the print environment, especially when it comes to some of these bigger systems, manufacturing or hospital systems. When a prescription run is printed, if it falls over and fails, you don't want it to stop. You've got to make sure that it gets printed, and it gets printed quickly. So what happens? Who do you notify? Which other printer do you send it to? You also want to make sure that your very expensive printers don't get sent print jobs for somebody's party invoice. You know, it's the sort of policy-based printing that we want to enable you guys to control your environment. That is a more trivial example, but there are many instances, especially in the hospital and manufacturing environments, where you need that fine control, that automated control in order to keep the business running and efficient.
Yep, and that's a feature that is coming soon, and we'd love to hear your feedback and love to hear from any of you who are interested in testing that out.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just like the Advanced Security Bundle, there is more to come to further build out this Output Management Bundle, and we'll be talking about those in future webinars as well. So that rounds out the second bundle. Let's jump into the third, which is cost management, and talk about something that I know our education customers have been asking for years, which is quota management. And I'm happy to say that is now available and has been for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
So again, allowing you guys to manage your estate and managing the what's happening on the print side is very important. It's an expensive business, and controlling that, not just from a supplies point of view, but also the lifespan of machines and printers, etc., is so important. When it comes to schools, obviously, you don't want kids just willy-nilly printing just because, or printing stuff they shouldn't. So quota management is there to set a quota so they can only print up to a certain number per week, per month, per semester, whatever time period you happen to want to set, which you can do. And that quota is controlled either by volume, a set number, 200 per month, say, or it's done by price. They have a certain price limit, and the pages cost a certain amount per, black and white or color, duplex or whatever. And again, all of those things are capable of being set. It's all managed by groups, so you can have as many groups as possible. And guess what? That all is managed and maintained through the IDP provisioning that we spoke about earlier. And you can set quotas per group and even by individual. So for an individual, if you wanted to increase the quota for an individual, you can increase that within one of those time sectors or quota sectors that we set. And there's a lot more coming down the line for quota management that we'll be talking about over the course of the next few months.
Very cool. Yeah, it's all about empowering you to maintain control of how much printing is actually taking place.
Absolutely.
And on the back end of that, this print job cost reporting, something we've had for a while, it allows you to see on the back end, okay, how much printing actually occurred and what were the costs associated with that printing as well.
Yeah, again, something that we've listened to what you want. And that management and control of what's being printed, who's printed it, how it's being printed, very important these days, obviously from a cost point of view, but also from an environmental point of view. And we've listened to what you've been saying, and this is an important piece of it. And we'll be extending the range of this reporting to enable you to be much more efficient in cost control, environmental control, and the like.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, staying on theme here, there's more to come, right? So we'll be talking, as Neil mentioned, about more features and how we're further building out this cost management bundle in future webinars. So that rounds out our whole discussion around the feature set, the enhancements, the bundles, and everything else that has come up in the last kind of 6 to 9 months.
Absolutely. And as we've said, a lot more to come. So we'll be talking to you about that over the course of the next couple of quarters as we do these webinars. If people want to reach out to us, Lana, what should they do?
They should come to csteam@PrinterLogic.com. Okay.
Yep.
With that, thank you everyone for being here with us today again. We really appreciate you spending some time with us, and we look forward to further engaging with you in the future.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.